Now, a lot of activity going on. So our March book sale is featured March 27th, 28th, 29th, and 30th. So instead of March Madness, we think that we should probably a hot book sale. And we have an Easter basket, or those that we got borrow, and we find that we have so in the Easter basket for student practice. So that'll be 27, 28, 29, and 30. Okay. So I'll get an Easter gift. The probably really nice. National Library Week is the second week in April. So on Tuesday, we're going to have Author Dawn, and she is withholding, and she's written a book on her journey about emotional fitness. And she sells the fitness drinks on Franklin, but it's also about how she helped herself get healed and fit with fitness and nutrition and things like that, and emotional fitness. Really bought it, which is productive. And then on Wednesday, we had library church lawyer, you know, we always like her. She told me she's even going to read the book. But her main book, I think, is going to be Amish Wife, The Amish Wife. It's about a murder in the Amish community, how the police have to investigate it, and how it's some of the difficulty or some of the traditions that the Amish have that make investigation of a murder. But there was folks got that with us. I think they love it. You know, there's one on the one in Oklahoma about the tribes, and she's done some other movies. And then on Thursday we have Bill Dixon, and he's a humanities speaker, but he's also a historian, and he is the co-founder of the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. He's going to tell us about the museum, but about Kansas City Monarchs. And if you're a Kansas City Royals fan like I am, you know that during the season, they always put on the Monarchs uniforms and playing on uniforms.
Yes.
Paraphernalia, there's all of the 5 years ago, it was during the summer, and we didn't very much the things. Excellent for that. Quite fine to get to her. That's National Library Week. And then, of course, on that Saturday, we have Learning Street. That is going to be learned by our kids. And the tickets go on sale at $30, and buy your tickets to pay the credit card with tab. And then Donna, Henry, and Carolyn have helped us once again to organize our talk discussion group with Kansas Humanity. I love that they're doing this because they represent for us, and we look at the board and we choose it. But this time around, we're talking about growing up. And it's going to work using type of our book. The young boys who love Afghanistan. It's an older book, which is really good book. Very popular. And Patrick Toda, one of our chairman of the library board, so yesterday working to have a chance. And then we have Gina Hernandez, who was our discussion leader last January coming here. One is close by to she knows the subject we have this, so she's going to come on Tuesday, the 23rd at 6 p.m. Okay. And then we also have the ESO classes, we learn English, or we also have some Spanish classes for staff and other unlimited organs and then of course we have started right now our regular advertising that we start 45 minutes a year. Give yourself a week break and staff has been sort of for our new first 2 weeks so that comes on board. And so that would be. And then remember us on Facebook and our website and our Black Friday. So we've got tons of snow when we're snowing, so we can check that. And if we're coming down the pipe, they're working on it. Late. All right, and don't forget with some sort of meat. And now I'm going to get, let me just give you a little stuff in here. We are going to have Alicia, behind, and her helper, I don't have her name.
And April.
April.
Hello, everyone.
And there are options, and she's going to tell us about how she found raised the dog and things, and I'm going to hear from one of them. Yeah. All right.
It'll work if we use the right pieces.
And then pull it up.
Okay. How's lunch? It smells amazing. I mean, struggling. He wants the cake. So he tried to come to the cake. Maybe you can pull the Okay, I'm Alicia. I'm from Options Domestic and Special Lines Services here in Foley, and this is April. She is a new advocate with us. Her advocates mainly work in the northwest part of Kansas, and this is Blue. Blue is, yes, it's Blue. He knows his name. Thank you. A little bit about me and Blue and how he came to be here today, and then I'll teach you guys a little bit about him. I have Blue since he was a puppy. He is a purebred German Shepherd. He is 3.5 years old. I used to be a police officer here in Hawaii. That's why I got the German Shepherd. It's very stereotypical. I know connection. Through all of that trauma and stuff that I was bringing home from being a cop, he tuned in a lot. So he would help me out. He did deep pressure therapy. He still does all this today. That's what we've been anxious. He still matters with you guys too. He taught himself how to take care of mom. So he'll alert me if my heart rate is too high. I have some other medical things too. I started picking up on that with him. That he was really good at picking up my science and how to connect his science, and we had this great communication going on. So I taught myself everything I needed to know. How to train a service dog. I do have PTSD from law enforcement, but I don't use that card as him being a service animal. But he helps. And so when I got hired onto Options about a year ago, everybody kind of argued what we were doing with Blue. And my executive director, who also has a very job as a case of advocates, asked if I could do Blue. And here we are. And so I brought him to all these kind of community events with people that are coming out. He's worked one-on-one with survivors too. He just knows more than me. The first couple times I took him out, I didn't realize he would be able to do that for other people too. And he will be like too. So at some point, I'm gonna let him walk around the table, kind of check in with you guys, maybe a little bit after the event, so he doesn't come your case. If he comes to you, I'm telling you right now, you have something you need to check with yourself. That maybe you have a mistake, maybe you have a loss in the family. He's gonna come straight to you. He's gonna know who you are before you even realize you have that thing. A quick story is we went out to Hayes for a chamber chat. First time that him and I ever met. And there was probably at least 50+ people that were in the parking lot. We're all standing up in the front, kind of like this, talking, doing our chamber chat. And he kept whining and moaning as you see him do parent. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's okay, you know, calm down, it's fine, you're making a fool of us, we're being recorded right now. And afterwards, they opened it up to the community for to come talk to the advocates and vice versa. And he went straight to two ladies. One lady had lost her dog 2 weeks ago, and she instantly started crying for her and was like, I need a dog. The other lady didn't disclose what was going on, but she said she had a really rough morning and was crying that morning, and he kept going to her for the rest of that event. So that's just a great example of see you. I might not see it as an advocate, but he knows that that's his power. Any questions at any point, please jump in, raise your hand. I'm gonna give you as much as I can remember to give you guys, but your participation and asking questions helps make this special for you guys. I could sit up for all day and talk. It's not very fun. But I love for you guys to participate with this skill. Okay? Any questions about him and what he does? Now, I would tell him. I teach him that I like to train at portions, which is for supply, and I always get her to say, hey, can you train my dog too? I'm happy to give you pointers and point you in the right direction. I'm happy to be this part. Like, yeah. So yes, no. A little bit here, a little bit there. There we go. Okay, as I said, we're advocates. And I'm gonna move a little bit. How far can I go, Derek?
Anywhere.
Okay, I can go anywhere. Okay. So we are open 24/7 to help anybody with anything. So I said domestic violence, sexual assault, human trafficking, dating violence, anything under that big giant purple umbrella. That's a labs. We are available 24/7 for help. Our offices are typically open 8 to 5. Monday through Friday, as you see there. For those of you who are tech savvy, not me, that's why she's helped me. Yeah. You can scan the chat and that'll help you get to people that may be able to answer some questions if you want to speak. This will be at the end as well, so if you want to take a picture at the end. We serve 18 counties from Russell up to Smith, up to Cheyenne, and down to Wallace. Her and I take care of that northwest of it, kind of where Thomas County is at. And then we have an office of Red Gates, that is our main office. There's currently only 2 girls, 2.5, 3 girls over there in the way office right now. And blue. Some ways that you can get involved, we kind of put those on the table too, as you guys volunteer. So you can do direct work or indirect work, so you don't necessarily have to work directly with the survivor. You can help with donations, you can fold up our pretty papers and stuff like that, or if you wanted to do direct work, you could cover the hotline, medical plans, just prepare, give transportation. We always need help with kids. We're sitting with a mom. It's very helpful to have somebody who watch the kids watch the mom or so one-on-one support, the biggest, most exciting thing about Island is my favorite thing to do with survivors. Let's go back this way. We can't take all of our things. This is where blue comes in. So I would have a survivor come in that maybe just is going through a domestic violence situation. Thank you. And we would sit with her and we would help her with whatever that she or he needs help. That could be just personal counseling, talking about, you know, how do I stop blaming myself for staying for so long? Maybe she needs to report to file for a FDFA or protection order, or maybe go to law enforcement center to file a report with the police about the situation. I could go and she could go, whatever advocate we choose to go with them. That's something that we help. Supportive counseling, I already kind of talked about that. That's really where blue comes in too. If they need a little extra cookie friend to come help, sometimes it's easier to talk to this guy. It's really hard to talk to. he doesn't judge you. He's gonna do this. He's therapy you right now, you guys. He's leaving. He knows mama's doing her thing right now. This is a boy. And he does this with the survivors as well. So we'll do this with staff as well. Child youth services, so that can look like the child advocacy center will go along and parents and child and support that relationship if it needs to go and get some sort of interview investigation done with them. We do one-on-one with kids as well. So if the kid is going through something and we get just talk without a parent there, we kind of help that kid through that stuff. Parents are chocolate. I've got teenagers, they don't want to hear it from me. They know I'm right, but they have to hear it from someone else. And then that's when they come back to me and say, gosh, we go there. So we help kind of bridge that. Any questions so far? Please jump in if you have any questions, concerns, comments, anything. You even want to share a story. I am okay with that. We have support groups. We have a domestic violence one, and I'm starting a sexual assault one. We will be facilitating that out here. Days also has a couple out in that area. We have a domestic violence one here and here. Pattern changing class out here. That is a 12-week program, and that kind of just changes typically women that talk to men that have that reoccurring thought process that keep kind of going back to that type of relationship. This restructures, helps to restructure that way of thinking. 12-week program, it's a closed type group, so you have to sign up for it. So if anybody's curious about any of these things, you can talk to us afterwards and type it, or you can totally call and ask about it too. Community awareness events and further education. This community awareness event, so we try to get out as much as we can and make it really exciting for you to be here. So we can talk about the really hard things and not trying anything about talking, trying to get in school and just kind of soften the edges of this. Is hard to talk about, but we're really just here to be soft and fluffy and adorable and information. But it's not, we're not trying to be kids, we're not trying to keep real dark secrets, we're just here to help. So the point of those community awareness events is to get that information out and make those connections. Parent Cafe is new, as it says, currently under construction. I don't know a lot about that, but it's something new coming up where a family advocate is going to work with specifically families called rehabilitation codes. 24-hour help. So there's help, there's text messaging, and then there's virtual advocacy. So kind of like you saw at the beginning, those were QR codes. You can access all that from there or online. This really appeals to our younger generation because they're like this all the time. I'm also guilty of it, but I don't understand stuff because they kind of right. You know what it does. Crisis intervention. Crisis intervention, that looks like when you're walking in off the street saying, oh my gosh, help me, I'm in a really, really serious situation right now. That would be a crisis. Sometimes that can look like a hotline call, and we just randomly pick up that phone, not knowing, we're like, Alicia, with options, how can I help you? I'm in a crisis, I need help right now. It's scary. It's really scary to get those phone calls and deal with that, but we help with it. We provide emergency services, accommodation as needed. All of this is within that 24-hour availability. So somebody called at 3 o'clock in the morning and needed us to go to law enforcement to make a report about something that's serious that just happened. We will do that. We have a safe shelter and a non-disclosed location in Ellis County. That is where we're likely to take people that need safe placement. You are also providing help if needed for a couple to get out of the crisis situation. And whatever other emergency accommodations they need, we'll help them out. Ours Our services are free, confidential, voluntary, and all without judgment. So free, we will never ask you for money. We like donations, but we will not ask survivors for anything. That is pretty common. You want to look me out with April or no? Full box. Thank you guys. Confidential. Confidential, meaning we're not gonna tell your secret. Everything stays within our four walls. We may share with other advocates to just make sure we're giving the survivor the best accommodations, needs met as we can. Nothing is shared outside. Look at it. We're not allowed to share. That's where all our grant money and all of our stuff gets taken away. We break that confidentiality. It's in law. Voluntary, we're not going to force you to come and get services. If you come in, you're like, hey, I need X, Y, and Z, and then you're like, you know what, never mind, that choice, I don't want to do this. That hurts our heart, but it is okay. We did this a lot. So it's voluntary, you come whenever you need to. Without judgment, you're not going to shock us. Ex-police officer, I've seen a lot of stuff. We have our own traumas and histories that we bring into this as well when it comes to education. We've kind of seen it all. Maybe a little bit surprising, but we're not going to judge you for anything. Our agenda is to provide opportunities of self-helping healing to victims and survivors of violence and abuse. And then Alicia. You guys really want to keep seeing this error occurred. There we go. It's me. Yes, 100%. They deal with this at work too. On top of all the crises and trauma that we deal with, I gotta know what's happening to you guys. And it's just not programming. So how can you guys help? I would love, yes, ma'am. Your classes, where do they meet? They're here in Colby at the Colby office, which is kind of diagonal from J&B. We have some there, and then Hayes also has support for classes out there. Okay. Yeah, thanks for the question. Okay, awesome. So this is what I was saying, and I would like you to take the question: how can you help? So maybe there's a grandchild, niece, nephew, brother, sister that comes to you and says, yeah, I'm going through this. How can you help that person? Anybody? There's some things that you can do to help that person. That is not judgment. First thing that you can do. Listen, she got it. Thinking people that not judgment without judgment. So believe that. Listen. And a lot of times we want to even unpack because we want to jump in and put our superhero cape on, solve problems, or run right over what they're saying. It is so hard to just shut yourself. Believe that. It's gonna probably sound really far-fetched and crazy. Just believe it. Trauma suppresses things. Trauma doesn't make up things. Remember that. But that here is a great pocket for me. But that was a really important thing for me as an advocate to remember that. As a survivor itself, we don't make it up, we forget things. Our timeline gets jumbled, but we don't make it up. So believe that. Provide support. Support can look like a bunch of different things. A hug, an ear, a cup of coffee, opening your door at 3 o'clock in the morning and letting them come in. Support can be all different things. Help them find resources. Has anybody been in a fender bender accident, been in a situation that was kind of crazy? You have no idea what's going on. You're like, oh gosh, was that a man or a woman? What was the vehicle? You get in this like, hey, forget really important details. So like that, if somebody comes to you and says, I'm struggling, I'm in a bad situation, chances of them finding our own resources is less likely than us. They're going to need help being pointed in the right direction. And it could be as simple as handing in the leaflet that's on the table. Here's some resources. Or hey, let's get on Google and let's search for something in the area. Just point them in the right direction. It could look like you walking into options with them or calling, making that initial call. Hey, I have my friend, she's sitting here. Can I put you on speakerphone? Yes, you can. Absolutely. You gotta hear from them, but you can sit there. That's about this one. You can connect with us 24/7. Here are the thingies if you wanna take a picture of it and get connected, look at the website. There's also an app that you can download. If you are not in a safe situation and you have somebody looking at your phone, I will not recommend using that app. Because it is difficult to the perpetrator, the bad guy. Any questions of how to contact us, anything like that, there's also contact cards on the tables of different ways that you can get in contact with us. You can volunteer, we talked about that, those are also on the table. So you guys know what that looks like already. You can support us. All right, you donate. We won't take your money from the fundraising, people will absolutely listen to you, how you help donate. It might not be money, it might just be volunteer time, it might be clothes. You go on the website. Maybe I'll walk you guys through it. There's a part, I think, under volunteer or support, how can I help, where it tells you what the donations are that we need right now. So that's viewable on the website. So even if it isn't money, donate old clothes, new clothes, like new things, just used furniture, stuff like that. You guys can always refer people. Easy. What? Yeah, just be great. Actually, I'm gonna leave that, so you guys can do that. Now this is where, like, you went pretty fast. And you guys ask a question, fill in the blanks. Even if it's just about Bloom, what do we do for fun? He likes French fries.
Yeah.
If you want our family jewels, bring the French fries. We'll show you where to call that. So I'm just gonna stand here awkwardly until I have some questions or comments. Yes, ma'am? It's gonna be a blank number. It's gonna pop up as a blocked number when we call you. Is that what you were asking? You get everybody. You only can pick up that phone, Hayes can pick it up, and the shelter can pick it up. But we're able to communicate and transfer the separation. Yes, thank you, Brad. Yes.
Not very confused.
Any other questions? Yes.
How's everyone? I saw your presentation.
Yes.
But when there is a perpetrator that, how many times, is too many times, like for them to be aggressive or something like that?
One is too many. There's never an excuse for abuse. One time is too many. How do you know if it's abuse? Still call your advocate. Call a local advocate, get with somebody who knows kind of the idea of what this is, and they'll tell you. We also put on your table some red flag flyers. The one on this table, you guys, is gaslighting, and it just goes into detail. Ridicule, it's a red flag. We've all heard the term, and that's a red flag. Let's avoid that, right? It's a giant stop sign. So looking for those. How do you know if it's abuse? Look for those red flags. Talk to an advocate to say, yeah, that doesn't sound right, that doesn't sound right with you. Absolutely.
You're saying verbal abuse.
Verbal abuse, emotional abuse, physical, financial, sexual, all kinds of abuse out there. A lot of people think he didn't hit me. So he never hits me. But he's throwing things, he's punching the wall, he's using aggressive language towards you, he's withholding money, he's putting your check into his business account and getting back. That is abuse on several different platforms. Good, great, thank you. Yes.
If they're pressuring you to do something, you know, it's not okay.
Yes.
That can be coercion.
Yes.
There's a really orange for that. Anytime someone's coerced and doing something that they would not know is or be comfortable with, so yes.
Yeah, you can say yes one time, and then be halfway through the situation and be like, oh, yeah, never mind, I take that back, that is okay. More questions, those are great.
And then you think so that.
And maybe it takes, yeah, we skip breakfast, because we do this, because we don't, we'll just keep. Great question. Probably gonna get furniture they want for this. So you can spoil on doing like this for sure. I even thought about taking them to Tractor Supply to get some new toys. This is Kathy.
Now, are you on call? There's somebody on call 24 hours?
Yes, usually the shelter is there 24/7 anyways, to take care of the people in shelter and they answer the phones. If somebody out here needs to be dispatched to a situation, shelter will call our supervisor. And then our supervisor will have us go.
Yes. You say us, you don't go one person.
No, yes,
You go.
no, it's usually just one person. If we have to go to like an on-scene domestic situation, law enforcement will be there. So we're not gonna put ourselves in a bad situation.
That's what I'm indicating.
Safety plans, yeah, there needs to be a plan before we just rush in and communication about it before we go in.
So now, how long is this taking? I called you at 3 o'clock in the morning and I just got beat up. Okay, so I finally been able to call 911.
Yeah.
So in all of this, and the police come, how long does the cycle take?
It depends on the full circle, so we're accounting for law enforcement communication in this too. I've been there, done that, sometimes that's a hit or miss, right? So if law enforcement gets done with your situation and says, hey, we're gonna call options now, are you okay with that? Can I do that? And then they say, hey, options, can you meet us out here right now? I would say 30 minutes. Like, it's just a matter of them making the communication with options, the survivor, the victim, telling the police or themselves, the survivor victim, saying, hey, options, can you come out here?
Okay, now who's the person that does the talk there?
For what?
Well, domestic violence, he's got a gun. And somebody's gonna have to talk down.
That's law enforcement. Yeah, absolutely. Law enforcement. Absolutely. We are just here for the victim, the survivor. We like to call them survivors. I don't like to victimize more by saying victim. At one time, I get survivor to call me a victim. I'm not. But if it's still an active situation, it's not safe for us to be there either. We're going to be on standby ready to go for when that person goes to the law enforcement center and needs a safe, unbiased person there. We can go to the law enforcement center and wait for the victim service to be there. So it's very unlikely that we're going to be on scene. It is in our services to respond to that stuff. I haven't experienced that in my time as a police officer or a county. Does that answer it? Kind of, I know, thick as mud, clear as mud.
I just wonder, well, how long is this taking? And in the meantime, you know, is he gonna finish beating me up? Is he gonna shoot me? So that's what I'm wondering, how long does this cycle
And it
take?
varies. I don't think there's just one correct answer to that. It depends on the background and the legality of the situation, how many weapons, how long has this been going on, what is her response? What is the neighbor's response? Who's in the house? There's so much that's a loaded question. But we do everything that we possibly can except show up ready to go with arms. We're not going to do that. I put my weapons down. I don't know how many times this week I've said that. Okay, so I put my weapons down. I use my voice and my compassion and the reasonable. So I hope one person shows up.
So if they call, if a person calls you
Yes,
and you are the first responder,
that's great.
do you call the police to go with you in that situation first, or do you
This is
try to
not
get as
first
much
person.
information?
Absolutely. We will get phone calls that say, hey, I'm in an active situation, please help me. Hey, you need to call the police right now. I don't want to. Okay, but this is like, we have to be very forceful but gentle in this, you know, you need to call the cops. However, that's where our confidentiality comes in, and we can make up out of release of information. So that's where our job, need us here on this, is really difficult. It's not that we don't want to share these things like that. It's, we're giving you the power to control as a victim survivor, to have that decision. Maybe as a police officer, causing harm and calling more cops to it, maybe will escalate the situation. So many different things on this. But I love that, that's a great perspective, because I've been on the other side of the phone as an advocate and had to be in an active crisis. It's calling our supervisor and getting all team members within that area on board, and hey, we're gonna do this, and that. They don't wanna call the cops, then we just have to let it be.
So you can't call the cops or what?
Unless we have a release of information to call somebody and say, hey, Susie said we cannot call anybody, and let them know that Susie is being beaten up right now. So it's an unpopular opinion. It is hard for us to do. That's probably the most difficult thing about our job. Those are great questions. Yeah.
The person calling you and say, oh, did you call this morning?
That's good enough. Yes. Yeah, so we need their permission to do this. So if I said, hey, I need you to call the police right now, and the survivor says, absolutely not. Can you call them for me? I'd be like, okay, you want my here, you go call the cops for me, this is what's going on. That's where we bring other people on board.
Yeah, so it can be done, maybe.
Yes,
I mean, when you answer the phone, do you say, would you let me call the police? She says yes.
yes,
And so immediately.
I haven't been in that situation, but that's what I would do. Are you saying, we asked, are you safe right now? Are you
Well,
ready
they
to talk?
call you and you answer. And you go, so can you say, do you want me to call the police? I'm presuming this is all recorded. So then
It is not recorded. And that is confidentiality, and we only keep records for numbers, like statistic numbers, we don't keep any sort of records, because that could come back and hurt a survivor. Can be subpoenaed and
well,
used
but
in
what
court.
if this goes to court? Issues?
Absolutely.
Then have.
That's where we get options, attorneys on board, they do all the talking. That's up here on our pay grade level. Great questions, absolutely, and it can, and it has gotten.
Then you're gonna lawsuit. So will this recording say, I have this as proof that she said yes?
If she reported it, or the victim or survivor did, then yes, but we don't have,
You can't.
we don't. So that's
Who decides all this?
the board members. The people that get paid more to make those questions, answers, the legal team, the board members, the people in the big circle, they have access.
Well, are there attorneys and physician survivors
No,
on these boards?
I don't believe so.
See, that's the problem.
You're not wrong. I welcome you to continue to voice that opinion, because you're not wrong. And those concerns, and that's why we have these awareness events to hear from the community. It's really important to hear from you. You can call and say, hey, I've got some questions. I need to talk to somebody who can answer. We cannot answer.
Are the boards names on anything of this?
No, you would just call that number, and you would ask for a supervisor. And they will get you through that, and you're
Oh, yeah.
you just get called, okay? That's really true with me, so it is some very serious, scary stuff. We share in those sentiments, but there's only so much red tape that we can cross. And that's literally,
There's different red tape for each thing. Law enforcement has to look at a different aspect and different perspective than we do.
absolutely,
Even though we're community partners, there's still rules that we have to abide by as a nonprofit that are gonna be completely different than law enforcement. So even though we're working together, we still have our own policies and procedures that we have to abide by. In order
What
to,
does the government, decides on these people? The governor?
As to who the board members are.
Yeah.
They're only allowed a certain amount for, a term. And they're
No, who decides? You know.
who's above the board that decides on their. I'm not sure on that. I'm not sure who actually decides.
I would say if she knew the answer, because I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
It's just kind of an interesting thing. On these boards, like, should be people that know these things, not the farmer down the street or the merchant down the street.
Absolutely.
That has never been involved with the medical people and policemen, right, psychiatrists. I mean, to me,
People who've been in the field are the ones that need to be on.
so that's why I'm asking, who
Some decides who's on there. Gotcha.
It's a great question.
It is. And not one that I know the answer to.
I don't either.
Yeah.
But you spent your bottom dollar to leave here on my phone. I don't like you. Hey, our community, and this is stuff that we will share with the supervisors too, is, hey, the community expressed these concerns. You guys didn't give us the answers. Can you fill us in and how can we get the correct answers? Who can we steer them to when they want to talk to the bigger people? So this is great, absolutely. I'm sorry.
Well, no, I'm just, it's quite hard for me to understand, when something's being done. The people that can help to do things are never on that board.
I can say there are some very highly educated individuals on the board who have gone through this either personally or vicariously through family and friends. So there are very well-rounded individuals. Did you have a question?
If you Google
Yes.
options, domestic violence board of directors, you can find the board of directors. You can also find, you could join our board. Would you like to help?
Just like. Well, like who votes them in though, right? Like, it's, yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
And then, but it does give you a number to call or look for that information on how to be on the server.
I love
And
that
navigation.
we're advocating.
This is what we
You
want.
guys are advocating for your community right now for each other. That is what we need. We cannot do our jobs by ourselves. We need the community to get sort of get that passion, get involved, have those questions.
What all education wise, you have to have to be an advocate.
I think they set that bar at about, it's a bachelor's degree. I bring a ton of experience on my piece. I just in college. So you just have to be a compassionate, empathetic, smart individual that can help others take on all of the criteria stuff. I would say, again, that's a book on favorite kind of question, but I would say as long as you need those things. That's a good experience in that, education in that. Yes, you had a question? Oh, I love the right. Lovely. Yeah, it's hard. Oh,
Wow.
thank you for sharing. And it's people who have gone through those really hard things. I am a survivor, as I said, that is why, like, God's like, go, Alicia, go. We all have those stories that pushed us into, that's why I became a cop. I was too sweet to be a cop. It wasn't exactly where God wanted me to be. Then, go over here. And then he invited both of us to be there, so I know. Absolutely, thank you for sharing, that's beautiful, I love it.
I have a question. How can the library help options?
How can the library help? By doing this. This is absolutely fantastic, opening your door, saying, you see something, say something, we've all heard that, right? You guys see something, flip them that information brochure. If you know her great granddaughter's second cousin removed, if you know that timeline that somebody within that, you can start with this person and work down. So it doesn't necessarily have to be direct help. It can be through the grapevine. Yeah,
How we budgeted.
donations and grants. More red tape. This is how the world works, you guys. We gotta crack some eggs, break some things, and make a few adjustments.
How much do you let everything?
What was that?
How does someone do it?
If you're like, hey, I do this monthly donation to anyone I want, this is a set price, and you want to donate on set price, you can call options and say, hey, my name's so-and-so, I have a money donation, who can I talk to? And they'll get you to our fundraising specialist. Now, if you wanted to donate items or goods, you can do the same thing. A lot of the time, I get that phone call here in Colby, it's just one of us Colby people calling, hey, I just freaking cleaned. I got brand blankets and pillowcases that I need to get rid of, and we bring them to you, or it's the answer. And then we'll get you a donation receipt, and you can roll right out there. That's good, answer the question, perfect. Good question, I like this. Yes,
Since most of the product are mailed in, are there any actual mail addresses?
yes. We have, I said, product. We'll call more, yes, we have 3 currently, they're in haste. So we would love more male, strong, confident, empathetic individuals. So, calling you out. You can get volunteer too, because just like a female, we would probably want a female to hear us talk about some of our stuff. We're typically not going a male, especially in the perpetrator. Same thing with a guy. If it's a guy was the victim, that's hard for you guys to go into a female and be like, it might be easier to talk to another guy, especially one who has probably been through something like that too. It's easier to, yeah,
We're working on breaking that stigma.
it starts with you. Yeah,
When you do it, like, it comes in children. At what point are you no longer associated? I mean, how much help do you give them?
As much help as they need. If they're here for 2, 3, 4 years, we'll keep helping. Within boundaries. So boundaries are gonna look different for every single person. No. It's so pretty. Beautiful. If they come in, you know, you're gonna give me right now, you're gonna find an apartment right now and that. That's not how this works. I'm so sorry. This is what I can do actually. I can give you names of landlords and apartment managers, and you can make the phone call. Here is that information, but here's that boundary. So it's also our responsibility as advocates to model the correct relationship boundaries with our survivors. Because more times than not, they're gonna come in not knowing that person. They're gonna resemble a lot of that all they've known for a very long time, especially if it's a younger adult teenager. All they've known for long time.
You pay for that apartment then, or?
Sometimes we have funding that can help, sometimes we'll get a grant for other programs, but no, we don't. And we can help yours and theirs. Our biggest struggles, which you are touching on, so I'm gonna continue, is people have hard time with attorneys. We'll have survivors, they're so expensive, right? We can't get attorneys to show up for our survivors, and maybe that's representation. Also, we have Kansas Legal Services take forever. There's one guy doing it now. And that is hard because I think he does like I think he does. I don't think I should put it in my pocket and figure the answer out later. The other thing is housing. Even if you're not in one of these situations, how hard is it to get a place to live right now? It's ridiculous. So imagine if you just had everything perfect way for you, everything you understood. Go find a house. And there's not funding for it, there's not program for it, this is a need. This is a need for our community, not only for us early surviving adults who aren't necessarily going through that. We're struggling with our finances, our houses alone, without being in that situation. It's a huge need.
I think a lot of it is due to for a rental.
For the rental,
Bring this woman and 3 kids. And well, knock on the door 2 days later and dad found where you are.
yeah.
I mean, it's so fear, I think.
It's a huge driver of not helping, you mean, because they don't wanna get involved and don't wanna have to walk into a situation like that. Yeah.
And this
It's
is
scary,
where,
yeah.
this, you're not wrong, this is where the community has to band together as a village, because if we're just doing it over here, and law enforcement's doing it over here, and then the manager of the department's like, oh, you bad, yeah.
Well,
We have to work together, and those safety concerns are completely valid. That's where law enforcement needs to come in and do what we're doing and say, hey, we got you, they just like us, need to come in and show you. They're gonna protect you, they're gonna protect management, make them feel safe.
are you concerned about immigrants?
Me, as an option?
No,
Mhm.
general. You know, the women that are gonna be living through this.
I don't know.
Are you talking about an increase in a need for services because of?
I hope not, children.
I hope not. I hope,
Or just
but
there
it's
something that, yeah.
we're here.
So there's always things that increase that. Traffic, the uproar in. Like you said, if immigrants come in, we're gonna have even more survivors that we have to take care of Christmas time. Right about now, actually, because we're coming out of the holidays, the sun is shining and people are getting brave, and want to come out and explore the world. They're being told not to. Right now is where we start seeing that uptick a little bit. So there's always these seasons, these cultural changes, politics, conspiracies that are going to naturally flush more to us. Out into the open, into the community. Yes.
And I think you talked about this earlier, but like a safe house or a,
Yes.
call this.
A shelter.
Shelter, okay, like, yeah.
No.
We're looking toward like.
Above my pay grade, but I have heard
Yeah.
that we're in the workings, they are talking about bringing a shelter to the big. Big money involved in that, the red tape,
So like donate to that if you wanted to.
when we get there, yeah. Oh, the money, the funds.
It's in the infancy stage, yeah, I would say as far as.
I welcome anybody that has a specific question, confirm, want to donate. All those efforts, they need to be like, hey, I want to invest in this, I heard this through the grapevine, I heard this from your advocate. How can we get this off the ground as a community member, as 14 community members? Is that a question?
There was a know how they did that.
Sometimes that can be.
There's hearing.
Yes, and that's our struggle here in Northwest Kansas is when we get subscribers out here, this influx. People coming in that need that shelter, we don't have it. We have small parameters in which we place people into life or death, fatality, type of situations, can't go to a hotel. There's nowhere else to put them, then you have to drive them all the way to Hayes. Hayes fills up community tax. Good question. Good grade.
Meeting that we are on, I certainly,
Yes, ma'am.
the human trafficking, are there certain things we should be looking for? Because I see that there's like, what is domestic violence, and it explains all that, and it tells you what human trafficking is, but it doesn't.
You're,
Yeah, but,
what is it? It's not a big scary man.
yeah, you watching one case, you do see it, so you could.
Are we on social media right now? Okay, so social media is making it real big, but it is the scary vans that are pulling into Target, that are the guy following you with his phone, talking to somebody. They're amping up with it that way. A lot of people just give a quick overview, this is a whole separate presentation, because it's very important. Quick overview of human trafficking. You do have ISMD, but you have 24 and 25, all the rest of them. In the human trafficking presentation, I showed you guys all that. we'll go with detail, but human trafficking is not just big scary vans on the corridors. It is domestic. We have family members selling their kids in our home, right? It is in our school. Kids are doing it to other kids. And there's sad things on the mom. So like I didn't realize I'm gonna get so emotional. It is upsetting because I've experienced it again. To do a quick overview, I put it in this presentation too. When I was traveling, I'm originally from California, traveling to Colorado is where we landed before we got here. I have a 4-year-old daughter. She is 14 now. She was wrapped around me. It's like, I kid you not, literally wrapped. We were in, what did I say, Wyoming-ish. We were stopping at U-Haul, we were getting her some chicken nuggets in the middle of McDonald's. My husband's with us, nice to school, this man comes up and just swoops her up and then halfway up the door. We were learning jujitsu at the time. I'm still very actively learning as a small person, as the ex-police officer, have to do those things for yourself. If it weren't for that, they would have taken that. So human trafficking, yes, it doesn't look like what we think it looks like. It looks like a big dark scary van on the dark side road and stuff like that. It's not. It's in our towns. It's even in our homes with people you think are good people that aren't necessary. So some key things you look for is that possessiveness, that coercion, the tight lip, like, oh, they go to school, which mom and dad have really said I can't talk about it. I have to work to get the things I need. Okay, tell me more. What does that mean? What do you mean? Because my son works to get things he wants, but there's key words that you can look for. So I'm answering the question, but not specifically. I'm carrying a need for a human trafficking presentation for cancer. Yes? Okay. You're my witness. You're tell the boss.
We'll put it on the schedule.
Yeah.
Okay.
As you can see, I'm gonna be emotional with that one. I'm trying to shut a lot. Russ Tuttle was in town there for a little bit. I don't know if anybody heard his name. He comes through different counties throughout the country and talks about domestic trafficking, but it's more of the technology with our kids and how they're sexting each other, soliciting each other's pictures, and how that's getting out into the world. But also, it's happening. So we touched on it really well. I think it upset our community. We kind of went, oh gosh, because it was too much too fast. So this is what we have to do. We have to remove that veil from our eyes.
It's not gonna help us if we pretend it's not there and our kids are getting in the middle school soccer practice, making pictures.
That's where we're trying to also get into.
So we need people, you, and you, and you. We need all of you to back us as parents, as community members. If you have that, if you have that name, use that name to get the information pushed through. This information isn't gonna make kids do bad things. We talk about sex, our kids are not gonna now do that. I can tell you as a ex-police officer now, advocate, my kids no more than I do. And it's not because they're bad, it's because we did that too. We did that too. We're gonna find the information unless it's shared. The kids are gonna find the information unless it's shared. We're sharing, if they're finding the wrong information, and then their friends, the ones that report them on it, that's not a good thing. I like that they have support systems, but a kid supporting kids blind, leaving blind, we can't do that. So that's our responsibility as community members. So her and I have an enormous burden right now, just weight on our shoulders to get into the schools to talk to these kids, and she has a kid too. I did a lot of stuff with kids when I was taught, and they just was missing the mark, was right there. It was right there. So that's what we're trying to do now. But it definitely, the conversation needs to be had. We do have to start thoughts. I'll bring the dog. Okay, like a whole lot with the edge, whatever. Our kids are really struggling. The human trafficking, I completely went by the line. It is really the kids are the ones that are struggling with it. it is the children, yes.
The cyber safety is so important, that's my safety, because a lot of times kids don't realize that who they're talking to, like through their gaming or.
And just to add on to that, technology so that we have time to figure out artificial intelligence and getting voice as well. There's one on social media going around that, oh, my sister called me, but it was an imposter trying to get money. And the imposter called and said, oh, it's your sister, you just got in an accident, and I'm in jail, and they need you to send me this money real quick. They're getting people like that, they're pretending to through the AI, you can look like Taylor Swift now, they can like smack the thing onto my face, and I just have to have a manager who's gonna be Swift, guys. So there's all different ways to get around. Just typing in Hannah, 6-year-old, let's date. There's so much more to it. Yes, and it's happening because I've seen it in my personal circle with my kids right now. And the thing is they know better. And they're still not doing better. Why? Because when they go to school, their authorities and their models are not modeling. They're the ones doing modeling.
I was at a missionary conference, missionary retreat center, and was listening to the kids, and 8-year-old girls getting on chat sites for kids to be 18.
Yes.
So just, people need to know.
And that was in the north of the
Let's start.
but they're not. It's not that they're not good Christian kids. You can break that down. They're good. They're Christian and they're kids. But that's a stereotype. You're telling me that means they're immune to trauma. There is something that causes that kid to do that line of action. You're welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm stop people to go.
Absolutely, thank you. I love it. You know, she, and you're part.
Yeah, don't go out of there. Yeah.
Thanks, you guys, are so much. Please come up and say hi. All right.